What's up, everybody? Welcome to Free for All Friday, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Your home for Detroit news and rumors. Of course, you got the Queen of the Prowl here, filling in for our man Curt Steele, who has been sick all week. That's why we have not been having any shows. He's lost his voice, but he's supposed to be good by Monday, he says. So hopefully, we're all praying for him and hope that he gets better soon. And because we got to have Grandpa Gangster up on taking care of business. So let's see who is all in the chat today. We got good Brian Stover, Grandizer, Dan and Dan. Welcome. We got a lot to talk about. Do we really even want to talk about this team? But before we do, talk about how bad this team is doing and what can be done. Let me bring in the rest of today's panel. Micro Mike, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, well, man? We're just trying to to win a game here, man. Real excited to talk Detroit Lions football, man.
Doing your best Boomhauer impression there. Damn, some bitch and Lions and all that shit. Okay. And of course, we've got the Maniac.
Oh, yeah.
What's up? Are you gonna growl this morning for us?
How's that?
Scared the hell out of me.
By the way, breaking news: next week, Curt will be on the Dr. Phil show along with every one of the Lions on the Prowl team. Why? Because we need some serious help here. Oh my gosh.
We need some therapy, man.
Yeah.
We need some major therapy.
Yeah, really, Curt's actually he's really trying to recover from this devastating loss because he yelled at the TV so much that he just lost his voice. I mean, and along with his mind, because it's just the way it is, man. When you're a Lions fan, man, you gotta be tough as nails, because if not, you're gonna be in the same house. That's
I basically told the guys, hey, you know what? Just take the week off, Curt, get better. Nobody really wants to talk about this team anyway, and we're in a bye week, so use this time to your advantage. I'm not getting up at the butt crack of dawn to record any of these shows, so it is what it is. So speaking of salvaging things, before we go completely off the rails here with Free for All Friday, let's get to our first question. How can the Lions salvage this season? Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, look, I think for this season, we need to focus on developing the young talent. We do got a lot of young talent here. And like a Joshua Pascal, hopefully should be making his debut versus Dallas Cowboys, seeing what he can bring, seeing what all the young players can bring. Because I think after this season, they need to go and really look at this roster and remove players like a Michael Brockers who ain't doing anything, players that are not bringing anything to the table, and acquire talent. And if the young players are doing something, keep them here. Focus on upgrading this talent, because the talent is absolute cheeks, specifically on defense, and we just need to get better. I think that's how you salvage. Who is here for the long haul? We really got to look at that at this point.
Absolutely. Tim, what do you think? What can be done with the Lions to salvage this season?
Okay, I think a lot of what Mike said, definitely. But I think if you got people here just going ahead and here just to make a damn paycheck, get them the hell out. As long as it's not going to hurt our salary cap too much, get them the hell out and bring somebody in. Even if their talent is not as good as what we get rid of, all right? If they're not going to go ahead and make a difference and put their all out on that field, we don't need you. We don't need you. And I don't care if that's a coach. I don't care if that's a player. I don't care who it is, because you got to go ahead and have somebody here that's willing to go ahead and make this team better, and not just be here to go ahead and have your ass on that field or have your ass on that bench. And another thing is you got to structure your contracts by incentive. Hell with the damn Players Association. I don't give a damn. I give a damn about winning. And if you're going to play better, I think you ought to be rewarded for it. And if not, then you shouldn't be rewarded. So as far as for how you do on the field on wins, all contracts should be incentive based.
Well, I don't know how much they're going to be able to do with the contracts during the season to fix anything. But for me, there's a number of things that honestly have got to be addressed with this team. Number one, I think one of the biggest problems that's probably being overlooked by many people is the strength and conditioning of these players. When you've got this much injuries going on, you're drafting injured players, they're recovering from injuries, they're getting decimated on the field, and the whole they're not physically up to par to be staying healthy on this field. There is something right there that's got to be addressed. The play calling has been outrageous. You've got, when Ben Johnson was calling the plays, the Lions seemed to be doing well. You got Dan Campbell trying to take back over the play calling, which is completely obvious, and it's not working well. That needs to stop. You've got issues with the defense, and there's other things that's got to be done, but that are not going to be able to be done during the season. But at least with the strength and conditioning and with the coaching, play calling, those two things that absolutely have to be addressed for me immediately. So I don't know if you guys in the chat, what do you think what do you guys think what do you think that the Lions can do to salvage this season as far as getting this going? Because there's a whole lot that needs to be addressed. And it's just not going to be just one thing. So going on to the next question, what returning player can make a difference for the defense, Mike?
Oh, that's Jerry Jacobs right there. Jerry Jacobs, he played really well last year, cornerback for the Detroit Lions, and we're in a world of hurt right now regarding opposite of Jeffrey Okudah, and I think him returning is going to be a big boost for the Lions defense. If you looked, Amani Oruwariye was getting killed every time when he's been on the field, and when he got benched, we're still having issues opposite of Jeff Okudah. Having him there, at least solidifying that other corner spot, is going to make an impact for the Lions secondary. Look, we're the worst right now in the NFL, and him coming there will at least relieve a little bit of pain. And we're going to be going against teams that can sling the football. You obviously got Dak Prescott, you got Karen Rodgers, and Miami Dolphins, whose offense is absolutely ridiculous with speed with Waddle and Hill. So I think him returning is going to be a giant boost. Now, I don't know how much the impact he's going to have because he is returning. Maybe he's on a snap count. It's possible, but the guy is a physical player. He's going to be lined up opposite of the number 2 wide receiver for each team. And I think it's really going to be a big help to at least stop some of these passing attack that's coming towards the Lions.
Absolutely. Tim, what do you think?
Yeah.
What returning player would you choose?
Well, Jacob sounds definitely great, but I did have one more comment for the previous question, though, that I did want to just add in there. Another thing is I would also look at and maybe seeing who we could trade for that would help the defense out too. As far as even maybe because Carolina just dropped their coach, so
Okay.
we might be able to bring somebody in to help that pass rush, trade some players. Would we even consider trading, a draft pick to go ahead and get a stud player?
I don't think that's a wise decision, to be honest. I don't think a trade is a good idea, simply on the fact that you already have a decimated team in the first place. Who are you trading to get anybody decent? So you're going to have to give up a whole lot, or you're going to have to give up a draft pick of stuff that you still need to address the team. So I don't think this is, as far as anything of that nature goes, it should be addressed in the free agencies. Now, it should have already been back in this draft, but I digress. You've already heard me go off on this a billion times. But yeah, I don't know if a trade is going to necessarily do much in the way of help. And then as far as
I would look into it, though. I mean, look into it, see who you could get, because that's one thing that through the years we have not seen the Lions. It seems like they just get stuck at one point, and that's it, or they'll go ahead and get a trade with somebody that's just not. I'm talking about bringing quality. And another thing we got to realize, anytime you get somebody from the draft, it's a 50-50 option on whether they're going to be great or not. So if you can, and I'm not talking about no over-the-hill stud player that's just going to, that was a stud at one time. I'm talking about getting somebody in here, looking at it, really researching, and somebody that could really help the team. That's the only way that I would be for the trade. All
right. I don't know if I trust any of Brad Holmes' decision making at this point, but we'll get to that later on in the show. But for me, my thought is it's so funny because somebody else just said it and I can't find the comment now. I think it was Raw Detroit. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody that's returning is going to make any much of a difference at this point in this team because there are a lot bigger issues that need to be addressed, and one player is just not going to make any bit of difference for me. That's a shame. I mean, I could be talking smack right now, but because the Bears are just as bad, I'm going to say that about them too. Nobody's coming to save you. Not at this point. So speaking of staff, what changes do you think that need to be made with the staff right now, Mike?
I honestly don't think that if we were to fire a coach or anything like that it's going to really do anything right now. Again, I think the problem is so much altogether regarding talent, regarding injuries, and some bad play calling that even if you were to say you were to fire an Aaron Glenn as a defensive coordinator, do you think the defense is really going to get any better? I mean, the talent is just abysmal, and I don't think that's going to do anything. So when it comes to staff changes, maybe you can look at, like you were saying, physical and rehab, some of the stuff like that. Like, what the hell is going on with these guys with these injuries? But in all honesty, when it comes to coaches, you're going to have to wait till after the season. If you want to upgrade the defensive coordinator, I wait till after the season because nothing's going to really do anything right now. If you were to get a Brian Flores, like I read an article, trade for him, is he going to make this defense go from 32 to 20? Nope, not going to happen because the talent is just not there. So just got to embrace the suck. Right now it sucks. You just got to embrace it. It's a world of crap and we got to live in it.
I call bullshit. We not embracing no damn suck. We gonna riot. If anything, we rioting. We can embrace a riot. We can embrace some heads rolling, and I don't care how they roll them. Whether it be one head, two head, three head, blue head. We ain't gonna embrace no damn suck. We've been embracing suck for too damn long. We out here finna change the culture. The culture finna get changed in such a way that if they don't get this stuff together, everybody gotta go. I'm talking about the water boy, the people who clean up, the owner, the mayor for letting them bring that goddamn team to this city. Everybody got to go. What's going on, family?
Hey.
Luke just decides to say, screw the introductions. I'm coming in hot.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I heard embrace the suck, and all I thought to myself was, why are we doing that?
Yeah, that's
nothing's gonna. If we were to fire everybody right now, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. Is it more the talent, the problem, or is it more the coaching? That's what you got to look at. Now, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of all, or a lot of all. Not a little bit. I mean, and as far as the decision, as far as freaking coaching, I mean, the worst decision maker needs to be the damn guy at the top. And it's been more than just one game. I mean, going for it and freaking onside kick over in Philadelphia and giving them the ball back on the damn
that onside kick, Tim, was probably one of the best decisions he made that goes underrated, and people don't realize it. If you don't believe in your defense, and at that point in time when he did the onside kick, they had already sustained multiple drives of at least 7 plays or more. Like they were driving every single time. And so by giving them that short field, he figures, hey, defense, I'm challenging y'all. Hold them here. Or if you don't, at least we know that they don't chew as much clock off and we can try to go and score. So I kind of understood the onside kick. But when it comes to for me, it goes down to Brad Holmes, because this is the issue that I have with Brad Holmes. And I've seen this on so many things. I've seen him talk about this on What We're Sports. I saw him talk about this on LNU. And I remember thinking, listen, at the end of the day, you are literally going to come out and have the balls to tell the fan base that, yeah, we knew when we took these people they were hurt. What the hell wrong with you? You know, you saw that roster in 2020 before you got your ass here. You knew what it was in 2021 when you discovered it, and it was now giving the keys to the damn team. And then you come back in 2022 and think you got the right to just take people that you think are hurt. Oh, it's about potential. Well, I could potentially be an NBA dunk contest winner. The truth is, I probably never will be, but who cares? You needed people who can come in and have immediate impact. And in my opinion, he has failed. And it's not just the draft, it's the free agency. Well, what's the best free agent move he's done so far? I'll wait.
His best, what was the question? His best free
What's
agent
the
move?
best free agent move that Brad Holmes has done thus far? I'll wait.
I'll wait. I'll give you two. I'll give you Josh Reynolds. I like that one. And Evan Brown. I love the Evan Brown pick. He's really been solid for a backup.
Yeah,
okay.
I can go with Mike Reynolds.
So we got a backup on offense, and we got an additional receiver on offense, right? And meanwhile, the worst part of our team still remains what?
The defense.
Yeah.
Okay. So he anteed up on more offense. Great, brilliant. By bringing in somebody that was already in a previous organization. I mean, ain't that what Patricia did? Brought in former Patriots. He brought in a former Ram. Great. He brought in a backup guy at the offensive line, Evan Brown. Cool, that's sweet. But outside of that, the worst parts of that team was the defense. And what has he done?
Yeah, and that brings my point in, Luke, where is that you know that the weakest part of your team is the defense. You're handed a defensive smorgasbord
right
in the draft. I mean, the pick of the litter, the gold on a silver plate, and you choose an injured wide receiver.
It just don't make no sense. Like, obviously, you're not like. I know people are looking like, oh, you just mad you didn't get this person, you didn't get that person. In hindsight's 2020. This is not a hindsight situation. One of the big complaints was, we need to start drafting people who have a history of being healthy. But if you really look at what he did this past draft, you drafted a safety with 1 year of production. That was brilliant. You drafted a guy who was hurt. That's even better. Well, actually, you drafted about 2 or 3, 4 people, 3 people. You figured a receiver, the damn Pascal, and the tight end, which by far is the stupidest pick of this draft, but whatever, right?
Yeah, but
in the last 2 years, though, we've drafted 10 defensive players to 5 offensive players. The issue is drafting players that are injured, like a Levi Onwuzurike, who we all knew. Well, they knew he had a back issue, chronic back issue. Okay, anybody that deals with chronic back issues, that should have been a massive red flag. Stay away from this dude. He's not like he's some skinny guy. Maybe you can kind of rehab. This dude's 300 pounds. It's gonna be a bad thing.
Granted,
is a bad draft pick. That should have never happened. Like anybody, that's why he was passed on. People are like,
only 5 out of 15 picks are consistently playing on this field.
It's a problem. It is an absolute problem.
Especially when you're building through the draft.
That's a 33% success rate in the draft. And people say, well, you can't judge the draft for a couple of years. Bull. Absolute bull.
I'll put it this way. I think when you look at his draft, and I always told people that this is why I don't subscribe to a lot of this stuff like positional value and all this other trash that people talk about. And you can't do this and you can't do that. I've never subscribed to that because at the end of the day, this is what I know about the people. The people want to see a performance, right? If I go out and I draft a kicker 2nd overall who can kick 80 and 90-yard field goals, and a singular person going to be upset about this, he's performing, right? And he's doing something that's so unusual, right? So to me, I figured out to get to the essence of the truth, you have to get the picks right. And the picks have to be able to perform. My problem is coming into a season where you had a schedule that was a little bit more on the softer side, and you already had seen that you invested so much money into the damn D-line. When were you going to go to the next levels? Because right now, There is no front seven, in my opinion. When you took Levi Onwuzurike, I compared him to Michael Brockers, but younger and a little bit more agile. And when we took Aiden Hutchinson, I was like, okay, we're gonna just wait to see what he do, right? I'm willing to give everybody opportunity. I root for every person, but it's not just the draft. It's free agency. And before somebody come in here and say, well, you didn't have the money, we had the 6th most cap going into this offseason, and we had $36 million. He used that money to re-sign Tim Boyle, bring back David Blau, bring back Alex Anzalone. Okay, so that go 3 of them right there. And before somebody said, well, them not really big contracts, Anzalone is still here. The other 2 guys are gone, and you cut them and you take penalties for that. And then you got what is the other guy name? I'm trying to think of his damn name you went out and added Chris Board, a career special teams backup. You brought in Elliott Great, a guy who I think had 1 season where he played for the full season. Then you go keep going. What has he done? It's just, the trades. Everybody was so hyped. All you get up is a 3rd round pick. You didn't have to move nowhere. And I remember in my Discord, somebody said this. They said, you said that the Vikings had a better draft than the Lions, and they don't have any starters. The Vikings didn't have as many holes as us. Their coach got fired because the defense didn't perform, and he's a defensive coach.
Right. Now, Michael Lede says, well, the Jimmo trade was a glorified pick swap. It's not like we gave up a lot to make the move. Yes, you did. You didn't give up in the draft picks, but you gave up on players that could start. That's the problem. You instead of getting guys that can immediately make an impact, make a difference on a decimated team already, you choose injured players that are going to be off the field or guys that aren't going to be able to play for 6 months. What the hell?
And on top of it, just to add more insult to injury, that 3rd round pick that you traded away, the Lions' history have been in 3rd round picks. They have found people in those 3rd rounds quite often. And so you had 2 3rd round picks that would still gave you 5 picks in the top 97. And you would have been able to say you took Aiden Hutchinson first, right? And let's say hypothetically you didn't trade up. You just stayed where you was at. You would still be able to get a quality linebacker or safety. You could have got Louis Singh, which got taken, I think, 31 or 32nd or something like that, right? He got taken 32nd because he had the pick that we got from the Rams. So you could have had Louis Singh, who obviously is hurt right now. You could have came back in the 2nd round, and you still could have took some linebackers that could have helped. You could have came back in the 3rd round, took a cornerback, came back in another 3rd round, and took, say, another linebacker or a D tackle. Those picks right there would have gave you talent on all levels of the defense, and it would have been more suitable than what they did currently. Now, I'm not saying that it's over for this draft class. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this it's been underwhelming, right?
Absolutely.
I think for me, what pisses me off the most is we keep drafting the same position over and over again, and it's just not working. Like, we need defensive line, but we've drafted so many defensive linemen, defensive tackle. Why do we still have to keep drafting that? It's because when you draft a player, they're not working out. You have to get on these. These players have to be working out. Derek Barnes drafted him last year. He's doing absolutely nothing this year. What do we need? Linebacker. What we all knew we need? Linebacker. What do we need? Defensive tackle. What we talk about? We're going to need defensive tackle because Levi is always hurt. Cornerback. What do we need? Cornerback. It's the same positions. We got to be able to draft correctly the first time so we don't redraft the same positions year after year.
And that's my problem. That's one of my biggest problems with Brad Holmes, because Mr. Analytics, all right, it's supposed to be, Mr. Scout. And so what the hell? And then you want to sit there and you want to say, well, linebackers aren't worth the value that higher up. Well, yeah, true in most cases. Okay, when you've got a pretty decent team on both sides of the ball, you're not going to go linebacker in the first one of the first 3 picks. Okay, that's a 4th, 5th, 6th round value guy. But when you don't have that shit going for you at all, and your whole defensive side of the ball is just completely decimated, yes, you're going to go pay a little bit more to have a good quality. You get what you pay for. That's the problem. You're trying to go on the discount Kmart blue light special rack to pick up guys, And this is why you have to draft players over and over and over again. Get the quality right up front, deal with the issue, and you don't have to deal with it again. Stop shopping at Kmart and go visit Macy's, will you? That's just it.
I mean, but if you look at it, right? Like, okay. If you look at it, forget those moves. Forget the draft. Let's talk the draft out, right? Let's go back and look at the 2021 Detroit Lions roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
You lose Trey Flowers. What's the upgrade to him? Right? Like obviously Trey Flowers wasn't nothing special, but think about it. Who did they upgrade that position with?
You did.
Well, one Pascal comes at some point.
I mean, okay, let's try another one.
That would be his thing.
Let's try another one. So he's gone. Alex Anzalone went to free agency. You brought him back, right? So we didn't upgrade that, right? Jalen Reed-Maven left. Who's the upgrade for him? You want to tell me that's Malcolm Rodriguez? Because I'm almost willing to argue that they're probably the same players.
Chris Board, special teamer.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go. Let's keep going though, right? Then you had other people walk off, like say, Jesus, what is the damn dude name? Now that I think about it, you didn't have him walk off. He just got moved position. Will Harris was your safety last year. He got moved to corner. So you didn't upgrade that. You didn't upgrade. You didn't really, I mean, what position did he upgrade on defense?
All I can think of is edge, but that's
okay. Well,
really
look, let's look at edge, right?
That's it. Maybe Deshaun Elliott for safety is an upgrade over Will Harris.
No, he's not.
Will Harris was terrible at safety. He was balls deep of terrible.
Yeah, but here's my question.
Ain't doing shit either.
Hey, that's better than what Will Harris is doing. Will Harris is awful. He's the
You're
worst.
talking about shit in one hand and diarrhea in the other. It's not an upgrade, okay?
I take Deshaun Elliott over Will Harris at safety.
I'm just saying, like, go through. If you go through and you look at who we lost and who's gone, right? So look, John Pennicini left, right? Mm-hmm. Who's the upgrade?
They didn't bring anybody really in.
John Kaminsky. He actually is good, but injured. Again.
Oh, so we got another injured player. I watched a video today. I watched a video today that pissed me off, right? And I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this because I gotta show this. And y'all can find it for yourselves if y'all can't wait for me to do the video. There's a video of DK Metcalf mic'd up for the Seattle Seahawks. It's on YouTube.
Don't want to watch that.
You're gonna want to see this. I'm gonna tell you why.
I don't want to see.
There's a clip in there where he literally blocks Charles Harris and Isaiah Buggs at the same time. There's a clip in there where he literally said, "Oh, I got him scared." Talking about Okuda, he backing off 6 yards, but I got something for him. Watch this. There's a clip in there where he talks about, "Oh, they trying to rotate his safety help over here. Throw the ball over here because they panicking now. He can't do it by himself." Like it's all in these clips, right? And I say that to say this: Mike Hughes ain't an upgrade to the cornerback position. There was no real upgrades made, and I'm not saying that going into free agency spending big money would mean you will win. But you really only need 1 or 2 leader voices to help move things a different way. Calais Campbell has changed things tremendously for people. You can even go through and look at a few other people that's done that. But when people say, well, who are we supposed to get? I don't know. How about Kaiser White? You could have afforded Kaiser White. You're not going to convince me you couldn't afford him. You're not going to convince me that you couldn't afford those things. I just think that when you look at it, like, for example, the Baltimore Ravens, they did not have plans of Marcus Williams getting hurt. Well, now he is. But lucky for them, they drafted somebody that they felt was a luxury pick. See, teams like that can do luxury stuff. We're not one of those teams that have the luxury of luxury picking.
You want to talk about a clip that pisses you off? I watched the Detroit Lions have the cojones themselves to post a clip video on Anzalone talking about being a great leader.
It's called propaganda.
Woo! Lord, man mercy.
Yeah, I'm not watching that stuff. Look, man, I'm not a fan of propaganda, and I really don't want to watch me get pissed off even more.
No, I'm just saying, like but Mike, when you go through and you look at it, right, Mike?
I already know, man. Look, I've looked through this thing 100 times over. I've given everybody blame. Everybody deserves when you're this bad defensively, when you're this bad with talent, and you're 1-4, and you should be better. Everybody deserves this salad of shit because that's exactly what.
And keep in mind, I'm not absolving any coach or any player from any criticism. I'm not, right? But to me, the reason why I put the bulk of the blame on the general manager isn't because of a talent issue per se for me, but it's more so of who you brought in terms of their injury history. It's almost like somebody was like, "Hey, I got this used car. I know it's leaking oil. When you cut the heat or the air on, you smell gasoline, right? And if I was you, don't touch the radio. You'll get electrocuted. But it's a great deal. I'll give it to you for $500. Now, here's the deal, though. It will never go over 25 miles per hour, and you can only drive to work and home if that's 20 miles. That's what he did. He discounted the defense and said, you know what? Let's ante up on the offense. And I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Because if that's how you want to build your build, cool. But one of the things that I have been exploring is what makes a good GM a good GM. And I know you ain't going to be 100% on your picks, but I'll be damned if your picks are not contributors of any sort. And many of them are only starting because you never upgraded the position.
Okay. Yeah, and so here's the thing is we're talking about blame. So while we're dealing with this issue of blame, I'm looking at it as more of the issue of accountability. So in the next question that we have going on, I'm going to give kind of what my response to this whole who to blame, who to hold accountable issue is. But do you think that Dan Campbell should be on the hot seat?
Dan Campbell will be on the hot seat if his record matches what it was his first year. At that point, I want him fired. You cannot take this schedule with this roster and get only 3 wins. That you are the face of that team. You got to go. You get 3 wins with this roster and it's got to go. But where Dan Campbell can have other problems is let's say, for example, they come out the next 2 weeks of the season where they playing and they get smacked. If he don't fire Aaron Glenn, then you go down with him. Because when I move on from Aaron Glenn, I move on from you. Because, see, part of the job is as much as we love our friends, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to tell our friends he did something or she did something stupid. So if he can't be truthful with his friend and say, listen, it's not getting done with you. I know we've worked through this thing, but I got to get somebody that I can trust to get it done while I can focus on this and do this and this. If he don't do that, he gone. And if the GM don't make him do it, or the GM ain't a part of saying he got to get up out of here, he should be gone too.
So, Tim, do you think that Dan Campbell should be on the hot seat?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he should be on the hot seat because of a lot of his decisions, which I consider being stupid. You know, when decision costs you games, hell yeah. And actually, there ain't no, the Lions could have scored points. I mean, yeah, they shut themselves out. And our head coach is the reason we got shut out is because Dan went ahead and decided, we don't need a field goal kicker. 6 damn times you go for it on 4th. 6 times. 1 4th and 9. And also early in the game. I mean, there was no reason for that being a shutout and a humiliating loss. And actually, if you would have went for those field goals, and I know that isn't Dan's thing, but when it was close, who knows, this game could have been, if he would have went for field goals, that could have stopped that pick 6 that they got. We could have at least looked respectable, but in my opinion, yes, he needs to be out on the hot seat.
Tim, can I ask you a question? And I could be wrong. I thought I read that the kicker that they had signed for that game was hurt.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't because he just won the game for the Bears the week before.
Yeah, he was the Bears kicker.
Oh, okay. So I know I read some article that said that they got a new kicker now because the other kicker was hurt. I'm like, what?
This is their third kicker in 3 weeks.
They cut that hurt one.
They cut the hurt one, then they picked up the Chicago Bears one, and then they pick it Ficken from the New York Jets. And the next week they'll pick in Bicken, and then they'll sign a Raffro or some other. Every week we get a new kicker.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So, Mike, do you think that Dan Campbell should be on the hot seat?
I think everybody deserves blame, and he is one making some dumbass decisions. I'm watching a game, and turnovers win you games, and they lose you games. And I don't know if people realize this, but turnover on downs is a turnover. It's not a fumble. It's not a pick. It's a damn turnover. And last week we had 8 turnovers. You're not going to win a game with 8 effing turnovers. Going on 4th and 9 is freaking preschool football right there. That is ridiculous. It's Madden football. He's got to be better at that. And I think it's really concerning where he's not making the adjustments from week to week. It seems like he's doubling and tripling down. As a coach, you have to learn from your mistakes. And just like Luke says, it's about wins and losses. And if you come into this season with 3 and 4 wins after this season, you got to be held to account. I don't care about stats. We got the number 1 offense. I don't care about all that. I care about wins and losses. And you got to win. If you want to change a culture, you win. Win football games. It's not that damn hard to win games. It's so frustrating when you have a coach who can't get freaking 4 wins in a year, man. We got 17 games. It is ridiculous. Like, at some point, well, it's year 2 of the rebuild. Well, it's year 3 of the rebuild. Well, it's year 50 of the rebuild.
Excuses.
Well, it's year 100 of the rebuild. I don't care. Win. God dang it, man.
So here's my opinion on the matter. Should Dan Campbell be on the hot seat? You know, there's a lot of people that can be blamed with this team. Okay? And there's some fans that might believe that, we shouldn't be blamed. We should just go out there. We shouldn't blame anybody. We should just go out, get ourselves healthy, go out there and play. Okay, whatever. Here's the thing. I think blame is really the wrong word here. I think accountability is the issue here. And here's the thing. Should Dan Campbell be on the hot seat? Yeah, but what that fire under his seat is a tea candle compared to what should be under Brad Holmes' seat.
A tea candle.
Okay? Now, under Brad Holmes' seat is a raging fire. Here's the thing. And for me, Sheila too, okay? Because I'm gonna break this down in a different way for y'all. Okay, look at Detroit Lions on the prowl. Okay? We are a team of 5 people. We're unique as a podcast because most people have 1, 2, maybe 3 people on their team. We have 5. Okay? I'm Sheila. Curt is Brad Holmes. Okay? He's in, Brad Holmes kind of.
Is that because Curt Black? Is that what that is? I just want to know for friends.
You have to go there, Luke. No.
No, well, okay, that's probably a bad analogy, but it's more like in the roles, people, okay? So he's more like Brad Holmes / Dan Campbell, okay? All right. And then, Coach Mike and LL and Nathan are all of the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, whatever. The rest of the team, okay? If we screw up, okay, on a daily basis here, okay? Could there be people to blame? No. We present a unified front. It's not a blame, but it's an accountability issue. You will see that when we mess up, I say, hey, okay, well, Nathan screwed up today. He put the wrong time. I fixed it. We're all good. It's an accountability, a clear. This is what happened, and we're addressing it. We're fixing it, and you tend to not see it happen again, at least for a while. Okay. So when it comes down to shit going wrong, who is the blame ultimately on? Me. Who's in the hot seat? Me. It's on my shoulders to make sure this shit runs.
I had a subscriber make a point, Val, that I think kind of go with what you talk about. I think it's another player that we might be missing in this miss, right? Because remember, Sheila has a special counsel who is helping her make football decisions while he's also learning on the job. And we're talking about one Mr. Chris Spielman. And we ain't talking about him. So, I got my eyes on everybody. Everybody is up for
But
hot seat.
ultimately, I can have special counsel. I can go to other people. I can go to you, Luke, and say, well, what should I do? Micro Mike, what should I do with this? You know what I'm saying? How do I fix this issue or whatever? Get help in looking at shit. But when the chips are on the table, who is the most accountable here is the person running the show. Okay? Now, Curt has to make sure that Mike and LL are on their game, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So Dan Campbell's in charge, and Brad Holmes in charge of making sure that there's players on the field doing the plays, doing what they're supposed to be doing. If they're not, they're going to hear it from me, and if they don't fix it, they're not going to go. But they'll fix their stuff. Mike, you know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna get fired here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl, not unless they're matching up Jim's vision. Okay, then they're gonna go. Okay, but
I'm gonna tell you the truth too, Val. After what I saw in yesterday's football game from the Bears, if we don't sweep the goddamn Bears, Val, I know you're a Bear fan, but this man, listen, if we don't sweep the Bears and have at least 3 sacks each one of them games, this man Fields hold the ball forever. Forever. Yeah. We should be feasting in those games. If we're not, I'm telling you right now, let us give up 30-some or 40-some points to the Chicago Bears, and I promise you, I'm on everybody fired immediately.
The only thing that I'm going to say as far as with the Bears are concerned, I don't think you're going to sweep the Bears, and it's not because you're not going to be able to beat the team. Can you beat the field? Not Justin Fields, the field, Soldier Field.
I don't know. The field didn't seem like it had no real home for the advantage yesterday. They seemed like they weren't even in it. They thought they came there to drink.
I don't know what happened yesterday. I feel just as frustrated with that team as I do the Lions right now. I don't even know if I want to watch football for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. But we're going to still be here. We're still going to be covering stuff because that's what we do. But when it comes to the hot seat issue, the ultimate shit goes up at the top. Look, we were talking about this before the show. In the military, whose shoulders does this fall on? It starts top down, and the devastating shit happens at the bottom. The ones that lowest on the totem pole are the first to go.
Yeah. Okay.
When shit hits the fan.
One of the things that I have not even heard Sheila have say is what is her desire for this team? What is her expectation? Does she want this team to be Super Bowl contenders eventually or not? I think
their plan is on a long-term range thing. But as sooner or later, Sheila's going to have to roll up in her white diamond perfume and have Brad Holmes be smelling it. Okay?
The oldest perfume you can think of.
No, I'm pulling from Curt there. That's Curt's analogy. Let Brad Holmes smell that white diamonds, okay?
That perfume is so old, my grandmother wore it. Like, I'm not being funny.
I thought there was some dinosaurs that wore it too.
But that's rich lady perfume. That's rich white lady perfume, okay? Okay, that's just what it is, okay? So, it doesn't have to be old. That's just rich white lady.
It's just old. I think that's Elizabeth Taylor, but we gonna leave that alone. We leave it alone.
But anyway, that's my point. She gonna have to roll. The person who is accountable right now and the most to blame is Brad Holmes because look, Dan Campbell can be on the hot seat all he wants for his coaching plays, and so can Aaron Glenn. And whatever. But the thing is if you don't have the talent on the field in the first place, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to run a vanilla defense because you don't have the talent to run anything else. You're going to run it a vanilla offense because you don't have the skill set to get the job done in more complex plays. And so is it Dan Campbell's fault? In some ways, yeah, but look what they're working with.
He just got to stop these
You're
ridiculous
asking,
calls.
you're
He's gotta
asking
stop.
Dan Campbell. You're
And-
asking Dan Campbell to build the Eiffel Tower out of Play-Doh.
Yeah, but also Dan Campbell's shooting himself in the foot with these ridiculous calls. He's got to be held to account with that. Like, hey, man, we're going to go on 4th and 50. Man, you know what I'm saying, man. I'm saying here.
Exactly.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be accountable for it, but what do you do to spice things up when
you got to hold your defensive
when you don't have the
coordinator.
talent to work with?
But you know what? I don't hold. You know why I'm not as high on get rid of Campbell or Campbell is the bulk of the blame for me. It's because whenever I hear people talk about the decisions, they are always reflective of the offense. Nobody is talking about the defense, which is really the damn problem. The offense has been performing. Even after a game where they didn't put up a single point, they're still third in scoring, and they're still able to put points on the board. The problem I have is when we talk about decisions and stuff like that, where are the criticism of Dan Campbell when it comes to the defense? They immediately skip off of that and go to the defense. But I'm looking at the defense and I'm saying they're hot garbage. If you want to give them praise for giving up 22 points this time instead of 35, kudos, right? But now it was on a time where the Lions weren't able to put points on the board. How about if they held the other team to 22 points early on, we wouldn't have these conflicts. And this game probably wouldn't be a freaking factor because we'd have had at least a 3-2 record.
Everyone deserves blame. No one should not get any
blame.
blame.
Everybody's getting blamed. Everybody needs to actually.
Everybody is.
Everybody needs to be held accountable.
Yes.
Because blame is looked at like it's scapegoat, okay? Accountable is a better word here. Accountable means that you need to get your shit right. Okay? Rather than we're just going to throw everything on, because we can right now easily look at Aaron Glenn and say, boy, this one's got to go and he's got to go and whatever. But the fact of the matter is there are multiple factors going on here, and blame to put blame on one person and one person alone is
unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. If you want to talk your shit, which you said you're a unified front, right? That means everybody's accountable. I have watched Curt, when Curt messes up, apologize to Mike, LL, me, and Nathan. I've done the same thing. We are held accountable to each other. So when we mess up for everybody, and it's accountability issue. It is not a one-person pony show here that we need to be scapegoating, putting to blame. Oh, if we 100%. Just get rid of this motherfucker, we'd be good. No, it is not the case here. The case is an accountability from Sheila Ford to the water boy.
So it's time to rebuild the rebuild?
It's time to get rid of Rory.
It's time to shut
What did Rory do to you, Mike?
I'm telling you right now, there's two things of why since the Lions have sucked. 1, the Fords, and 2, Rory. That son of a bitch.
We're gonna blame Rory.
What did Rory do to you?
I seen him at training camp. He sat next to me. He hit my hand, and I said, "We got to win this year." And he goes, "That's not the answer I wanted. Why are you?"
Oh my God!
You might be listen, Mike. You might be lucky Rory went vegan, or your ass was in trouble. Okay.
Rory accidentally hit Micro Mike in the head with his tail. So
he sat next to me, and I was talking to him for real. We were in there, and I said, "Look, man, we got to win." That was no. I like high-fiving you. It's cool we do the fist bump, but Rory, you need to do a better job, man. I'm looking at you.
Get rid of Rory. Rory's
that's going to solve all the problems. Okay, yeah.
It will definitely do it.
Rory's
heard
the
it
curse.
from Micro Mike.
Maybe Rory is the curse. Rory's been there for a long time.
I know. It's the Fords and Rory. Point finger at you, Rory. We ain't selling the team anytime soon. Coming on you, man.
Rory watching the stream right now going, that son of a bitch. Okay.
I sat next to him.
Talking about throwing somebody under the bus, Mike.
Hey, man. Rory, I know you remember.
Rory, the smile that came off his face and everything. He looking at you like, what you just say?
He's that was a mistake sitting next to that guy.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake. If it said,
Rory's gonna be at the next game with both paws up, like.
wait, Bill, go hit again. Do the head, man. Hey, man.
You're gonna see the Rory podcast.
Wait, y'all didn't see how she did her hands. Wait a minute, Val, do it.
Oh man.
Oh
Rory
God.
podcast, man.
Oh my God, she literally made her hand like the paw and everything, like for the middle finger. That's funny as hell. I'm sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have human fingers, so he's got to be like this.
That son of a bitch, man. I think about him, I get so mad.
I mean, we got Mike going in on Rory. We got Val mocking Rory. Pause. Tim just like, I don't know what the hell happened at this point, but I'm glad we off the rails and I ain't got to be the maniac today. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, that's so funny.
I'm gonna have to interview him when next time I'm there. We're gonna interview, and then we're gonna see the Rory podcast. He's just.
I think I'm gonna make that part a whole clip of its own. Like it's all Rory's fault.
I cannot believe because I didn't expect you to throw the pause up there. I was like, no, she didn't. That's funny. Okay.
Rory, you are not the father. No, wait, we don't get
that is terrible. No, I just for me, it's always the same thing for me. You have a defense, even if the defense wasn't giving up points. I mean, you're not getting turnovers. I wish people would stop with it. It's about getting pressure. There are certain types of pressure, right? Like what happened to us against the Patriots, that was pressure, right? I was very disappointed watching the Bears, who I picked to win in the Pick'em League, watching the Bears not really get any pressure on Carson Wentz. And I'm like, did they hire a new offensive line or did I miss something?
They put in a new offensive line, and it's just as bad as the old offensive line.
I am so happy I didn't watch that game last night.
Oh, it was so bad that like my wife was like, "You just gonna keep watching?" Like I can't unwatch it. These uniforms are ridiculous.
Powder puff. Watching my daughter play football. She's playing corner.
It was so terrible.
Oh yeah, I know it was. Mike said Giovanni says find Scar, he'll be good. So we gonna take out. We gonna pull a Mufasa move on Rory.
Scar up in that mug. That would be kind of nice. That'd be cool. Make that trade.
He try to have somebody get thrown off the goddamn cliff. Y'all missed the whole reference. He try to tell Rory, "Long live the king," and let him go.
Get out of here.
Oh Lord. Okay, we went off the rails. We might as well just like end it at this point because we just done took this thing to a whole new level. We're trying to sacrifice Rory on the altar and throw him up a
We're gonna have a Rory sacrifice. Put gasoline on his head.
Maybe he's a virgin sacrifice if we offer him to the football gods. Maybe.
Wait, what was that movie? What was the movie with the bees in the cage?
That's if Rory, you son of a bitch. If you're a virgin, I swear.
Have you ever seen him with another lioness?
Lioness of Douchebagia?
Okay. We have fully lost our damn minds. We are talking about the goddamn lion's virginity. He said, if you're a virgin.
No, I'm talking about the whole ritual. It had to be a virgin to sacrifice purity to the football gods so that they would shine favor upon you.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
That's terrible.
This all Mike's fault. All because Mike felt the need to point out Rory. Everybody talked about every person. The water boy. No, Mike is like, fuck that. I'm going to get that damn
I've been on
freaking
Rory's
cat.
ass for 3 years, man. I'm still here.
You say it's time that we switch off from him and move in Heathcliff.
We gotta switch over to Garfield now.
Yeah, go ahead, move to Garfield. Oh my God!
What was Gargamel's cat? It wasn't from the Smurfs. wasn't it?
Oh, I forgot his damn name. Probably was Rory.
Azriel. It was Azriel or something like that.
Probably was Rory. I don't know, but I can tell you this much. I think it's something that I think that the Lion fan base should be excited about, because I think that ironically the bye week is your reset button. I fully believe that you're going to see a different team, even though that I think there's some issues. Listen, I'm serious. I think that you're going to see a different team in terms of defense, because I believe that they're going to go back to a 3-4. I believe that just so they can get those two guys standing up to get more pressure. I believe they go back to a 3-4. I feel like it.
I love you, dog.
Do you know who we're playing?
It's the Cowgirls, okay?
We play the Cowboys, then we play Miami, then we play the Packers. Oh,
but wait, listen, right? Think about it though, right? The Cowboys is getting ready to play the Eagles, right? And so they're gonna obviously have to deal with the mobile quarterback, right? But I think the biggest thing for the Cowboys is when I watch a Cowboy, I'm like, hey, all you got to do is match their energy in terms of the run. And I said, yeah, Parsons is going to be a problem, but just run at them, run right at them. Let's tell Sewell this is your assignment. And then when you go to Miami, they got some turmoil going on over there. I think we can sneak one out of them. Look, we do it every year. Every year we win a game we ain't supposed to win at all. Cardinals, I think last year or whatever that was. We do it every year. I think we can do it this year. I think we'll sneak one of these wins, and you're going to see a different team. Now,
preach it, Luke. Preach it.
Luke's got to find a reason for himself to continue watching the season. That's what this is about.
Listen, what y'all not going to do is run an intervention on my happiness. Okay, this is my joy. Okay.
We need a hopium intervention stat.
I'm just trying to hold strong, y'all.
Donations being taken for blue Kool-Aid. Send them to the
wow.
Collection plate, y'all. This is some serious help right here. Okay?
I couldn't even finish a sentence, and Mike comes off laughing. But damn you, Mike! I didn't even finish, Mike.
Defense is butt cheeks.
All right, maybe we should just go to final thoughts now, because this is only going to get worse. So, Tim, let the two boys that here can compose themselves. What final thoughts do you have for us?
This week, go to church, put an extra donation in, do a lot of prayers, because the Lions need as much help as they can get. We need some help from the man upstairs. Go Lions.
He's saying confess your sins, the 3 Hail Marys, the rosary beads, the holy water, whatever you need. Micro Mike, what are your final thoughts?
Become an alcoholic. It does help.
What in the world? That's terrible, Mike. Mike is encouraging us drinking. I'm not saying that I'm not drinking, but I just think you shouldn't encourage me.
No.
Dare to do drugs.
Just do drugs now, kids.
Drugs are bad. If you don't believe me, ask your mom. All the time.
Do drugs, okay? Okay, no wait. Okay, my final thoughts is Detroit Lions, please put a bodyguard on Rory, because Micro Mike is out to get him. But other than that, the bye week here is a blessing for us Lions fans, because it gives us a chance to decompress and try to fill back up on the hopium and blue Kool-Aid. Apparently, Luke's been getting into the stash a little early, but hopefully the Lions will be able to turn this around and we'll be able to have a better season. Because if we have to continue keep doing this all season, this is going to go really off the rails. So, Luke, why don't you bring us home with fill us up with some of your hopium and your blue Kool-Aid.
Hey, as always, listen, thanks to everybody for coming. Sorry I was late, and sorry that we got off track. I blame Mike for that. Poor Rory. I got your back, Rory. Okay. But you know me, we can't end the show if we do it on a positive note. And today's positive quote comes from the internet. It's simple. Whether you quit or keep going, it doesn't matter. They both will hurt. Whether you quit or keep going, it does not matter. They both will hurt. I had to talk to myself the other day because I wanted to quit doing something. I really did. I was like, you know what? I can't do this no more. I'm tired. This is just way too much. And that hurt. And then I realized when I kept doing it, that hurt. And that's what brought me to this damn quote. Just because the process is difficult does not mean that the destination is not worth it. Some things is worth the pain. Some things is worth the sacrifice. Some things is worth the hardship. You just need to go through the process. You got to embrace it. Whether you give up on it or you move forward, either way, you get the same results because that result is going to be based on your willingness to push through it or your willingness to sit in it. Either way it go, it's your willingness. I understand my process. I understand what I need to do to move forward. I understand what I need to do to be better. You need to understand what to do to be better. Be better today than you was yesterday. Be better tomorrow. Be better a week from now. And then when you go back and look at the results of your hard work, all the things you sat in, all the things you pushed through, remember who had the ability to do it. It was all down to you. So before you make decisions that have you questioning whether you should move forward or stand still, understand that as long as you're moving, you're living. And if you're living, then you do it all over again to be something greater than you ever were before you ever thought you could be it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. And I'm pretty sure y'all going to remix half the little things we was laughing at because Mike in the goddamn paw hands of Vail is going to go down in history as one of the greatest moments. This is just absolutely terrible. I don't even know why she did that. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
Yep, do. I'm gonna make. I might make that into a T-shirt. Oh, that's just too funny. If I could get some lion hands with those,
but the pause with the middle finger, that'll be funny.
Have a drunken lion. That'll be me.
So after that amazing sermon, we are taking up a building fund to rebuild these lions. So pass the collection plate. So let's rebuild this team ourselves because the Detroit Lions themselves are not going to do it.
We're going to buy it from the Fords.
We're going to pass the collection plate and fix this team ourselves because ain't nobody coming to save us. So with that being said, you guys have a great bye week. This is a blessing from the Lord. You can take a break and you all win on Sunday. So until
we don't lose.
That's so good.
So enjoy the time off and get yourself relaxed and refreshed. And we'll see you on the flip side when the Lions come on again. Until next time, have a great day, everyone.
Wait, we love you, Jim.
Oh, yeah, we love you, Jim. I almost forgot that one. We love you, Jim.